All right, how y'all doing out there? What is going on? This is Steve here breaking in with you on a Sunday evening. Hopefully everyone pushed those clocks up because right now it is 5:45 and I am a little bit early today. And one of the reasons why I am early because there is big news today, and I don't care if you are not the biggest Drew Brees fan in the world. If you're an Atlanta Falcons fan, you should be celebrating this day. I've told people this time and time and time and time again. The day Drew Brees retires, I am almost inclined to send him a good luck card because he has dominated this franchise for so long. And for those of you that try to pretend like that's not a big deal, that is a huge deal. He has absolutely killed us over the years. And now he is finally going by way of Instagram. I'm gonna pull up the official statement he has on here. But Drew Brees, after 20 years, finally hanging it up, finally deciding to let somebody else play, which is cool because I don't know if I could have dealt with him for one more year and deal with Mr. Brady in here as well. So look, no matter how you slice it, man, ever since Drew Brees entered this division back in 2000, was it 6? It has been a nightmare for the Falcons. The previous to him coming here, we had enjoyed a pretty dominant run over the Saints over the years. It was no secret that the Saints were still a dismal franchise, and he came and he did things that I don't think anybody was expecting. When he was at San Diego back in the day, he was really good, but I don't think anyone expected him to be this historic when he came to the Saints. I mean, he came to the Saints, immediately changed the fortune, immediately changed the expectations. The rivalry from our end got hot, and now, you can't help it. You cannot help it. You have to say, look, I'm glad he's gone. I am. I really am. All the other mess last summer notwithstanding, he's done nothing but kick our behind for the majority of his career. And so I'm pretty happy to see him get out of here. That wasn't the way I wanted to start the day, but this just popped in a few minutes ago. So I was just glad to see him deciding to officially retire. There was something kind of sneaky with me. And I was saying to myself, boy, this March 17th date is coming up and Breeze hadn't said a word. What is going on? Why is he not saying anything? So that kind of scared me for a little bit. What's up, RJ? How you doing, sir? Brother Ron, what is going on? Rusty said, I'm not late this time. I'm actually early this time, Rusty. So that's good. What's going on, Armani? How you doing, sir? Rusty said Taysom Hill, just like, yeah, right. they can give Taysom Hill that money if they want to. Lisa, how you doing? Lisa said we own the head-to-head record, I think by 2 games, but the Peyton Breeze era was rough on us by Breeze. And what I want to point out with that, Lisa, again, prior to Breeze getting here, yeah, we're up 2, but prior to him getting there, we were at a healthy, at least 10-game lead, maybe more before he got here. And I want to say we win one out of every 3-game clip with Breeze at the helm. So, man, it is crazy. Crazy. Brother Miles, how you doing? Breeze officially retired today. Brady is with the Bucs next 4 years. My Atlanta Falcons, it's time to take back over the NFC South. Well, you better do something because I still think Tom Brady is the man, and I think he is. He's until somebody can knock him off the perch. You gotta give him credit. You gotta give him credit. Rusty say, I'm serious, Steve. They just signed Hill. Just got the notification. Did they sign Hill for real? Don't tell me that. Brigida Johnson, how you doing? Love the Falcons Facebook post on the retirement. Shout out to your mom who is watching YouTube. How you doing, mother? Nice to see you. Love you to death and rise up. I know you're watching and hopefully reveling in this great news about Drew Brees retiring. He's given us fits. You know, there's no doubt about it. And he makes no mistake by telling everybody he loves to beat the Atlanta Falcons, without a doubt. He makes a habit of beating up on the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah, I don't see anything right now about Taysom Hill, but I tell you what, if that was true, that's a lot of money, and that for somebody who really isn't that great. What's going on, Marcario? How you doing, sir? Good to see you today. Yeah, Frank, I know you be celebrating. I see a lot of your videos against these Ain't fans out there. It's going to be a sad day, and I really don't even care who is going to be the next person in there, whether it be Taysom Hill, whether it be Jameis Winston, or whoever it is. I just don't think they're going to match the what he did as far as turning the franchise around. I know good and well this is a Falcon group, and it's weird to talk about a Saint on this group page, but let's face it, y'all. A lot of the reasons why we have the woes that we do are because of the guy who retired today. So I just, gotta give some respect to that. I don't have to like him, but you got to give respect for him for really whooping up on us over all these years. Let me see if I can pull up his statement and read it for you. Brother Trey, how you doing today? Good to see you. Macario says, I don't know if it's fake news, but I seen 4-year signing on Hill. Yeah, listen, if it's for the money that they just said, I don't know what to say. I just don't see him. I just don't see that. I don't see him worth that much money. I don't. That's crazy. I'm trying to look on here. Y'all help me out if y'all see anything. If on here, Jimmy Wayne, bring me something. Post me something on board, Jimmy, that can help me out with this, because if that is, I'm gonna tell you what, buyer beware, man. Because I'm trying to see, did Taysom Hill do enough to you to warrant an extension? I guess that tells you that that's how they're gonna go with their franchise, though. That is just strange. Lisa says, most Aints I know were ready for him to retire because he could no longer throw down the field like he used to. Bye, Breeze, like the Falcons said, I won't miss you. And listen, I'm not going to miss him one bit. Matter of fact, I welcome Taysom Hill with open arms to come in, because he is definitely not, to me, he's not the answer. I don't think he is. Macario says cap space. Yeah, I definitely I can see them making that move to extend him to kind of get themselves out of that trouble. Christian Graham said he's a white boy with speed. That's all. Yeah, but I hate to say this though. He's been playing the same plays for the last couple of years, and there have been few teams that's been able to stop it, us included. We let him beat us twice. So, you got to give credit where credit is due. Jimmy Wayne is probably one of the most reliable people that I go to. And I'm not trying to say Rusty isn't. Rusty, you my boy forever. But that day in Rusty, you kid around a lot. I got to make sure this is good. Jimmy says it is 4 years, $140 million. But it's a voidable deal, so it saved them $7.7 million on the cap. 4 years, 100. Now, I'm gonna tell you what, Dak Prescott is probably sitting back right now after smiling and everything in that press conference earlier this week. He's probably sitting back right now saying, "You gave Taysom Hill what? Can we go back and renegotiate this contract one more time? You got to be kidding me. That is crazy." Christian said, do you think he will unretire once the season starts? Nah, I think he's done. I think he was done last year. You saw how emotional he was last year. I think he was on the way out after that. I think he was. I don't think Breeze truly had any intentions on coming back, but it was just interesting to see. Russ said that is odd. I just don't get. Is there anybody out there that think Taysom Hill is truly that vibe? But listen, nice running, as Christian said, he's telling the truth. Got a little speed on him, little bit of toughness. Got a little speed. He took a couple of hits last year to let me know he's human when he started playing whole games. But let's keep it real. He beat the Falcons twice in Denver last year. It's not like he beat Denver who had no quarterbacks, and beat the Falcons, enough said, twice. And that they saw enough of a snapshot to say that's what we're going to do. And I understand for cap ramifications, because at the end of the day, when they keep doing things like this, all they're doing is, pushing money way down the line. I just don't get it, y'all. That is just strange to me. Somebody's going to have to explain that. That is, whew, that's crazy. Christian said Hill is pretty good at play action. He can hurt you. He was not accurate last year, Christian. He was not accurate. And I'm not going to spotlight every single pass he made, but do you remember last year with the Falcons? Really, the defense won both games, But the one time I just remember him having a chance to throw the ball downfield, which has been pre 2 or 3 years ago, Drew Brees' big thing, able to unload sometimes. He threw that duck last year to Emmanuel Sanders that just hung up there like a punt. And that was probably the longest throw I saw him make all year. And you mean to tell me, and it's not like he's 26. He's 30 years old. So I'm not saying not that your career is over at 30, but I'm saying, do you see any improvement coming? I don't. But that's just, I don't know. That is crazy. Jimmy says, Taysom isn't that good outside of New Orleans. He's not a guy you build around. They still are talking to Winston to make him the starter, still is the highest paid backup ever. Yeah, I can imagine. I think you don't even have to pull my leg to tell me he's the highest paid backup. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous to me that they would pay that man that much money. Bizarre. That's what I wanted to talk about today. Free agency, more about the Falcons, but whoo, they making moves like that. That's pretty weird. Christian says he struggled in Denver from what I remember last year. He was not worth $140 million. I don't even think he's worth. And here's the bottom line. That's on the rise quarterback, second contract quarterback money. You mean to tell me they saw a snapshot of what he did and they think he's worth that much? I don't care if it's for cap reasons or not. Because again, somewhere down the line, even if it's voidable, some of that money you're going to have to account for. Are you paying $30 million for Taysom Hill to be your quarterback this year? If you're the New Orleans Saints, when you could probably get Jameis for cheaper. I'll be willing to bet you can get Jameis Winston for $25 million this year. That's what I think. But that's bizarre to me. That is straight bizarre. Also saw Aaron Jones did re-sign with the Packers. I was a little surprised about that. 4 years, $48 million. For those of you who were thinking we might have an opportunity to grab him, that's a good move for them. I kind of thought since they had drafted Dillon last year that they weren't going to make that move, but that turned out to be I don't have a problem with that move at all. Aaron Jones, they don't do a lot of the damage they did without the play action. Aaron Rodgers took advantage of because of how good Jones was playing. Rod says, I don't think he's worth 2 pennies. Is that Christian said you could get Winston for $5 million? You probably, listen, I'm not going to argue with you. You probably could. Even though I will say the difference is Jameis Winston has about 60, 70 starts in his resume as opposed to Taysom Hill. And let's face it, and again, I haven't seen it yet, but if this is true, for a cash-strapped franchise, and yeah, voidable years notwithstanding, that's still not a great investment. Really? I wouldn't want to pay Taysom Hill $10 million this year. He was barely worth the contract they gave him last year. And he showed very much so that when Drew Brees is when he's out of the game, they're not the same team. New Orleans need to be trying to package up some folks and move up into the top 10. See how disgruntled Michael Thomas is if he's really serious about leaving. Be serious about leaving, package him up and see if they can send him somewhere else and shoot up and get a chance at one of the 4 or 5 quarterbacks everybody's talking about. Macario, who else do you think is on the way out so we can save some more cap money? Here's something that is not going to be very popular, Macario. that I know nobody's thinking about, and I haven't heard anything, so I'm not throwing things, and I don't want to put fake rumors out there. Would it surprise anybody if they got rid of Deion Jones? Would it really shock you? Now his cap hit is a big deal this year. But if he doesn't want to restructure, would that be somebody they might move on for? Might be able to trade and get a nice draft pick while his ceiling right now is pretty high? Just a thought. With Fourier catching on like he has, and you still going to have to pay him as well. And I love Debo. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to get rid of the team, but you told me to bring a name up. I think that's a name. I saw something on another site where somebody was talking about getting rid of Grady. You can't get rid of Grady Jarrett. Grady Jarrett is the heart and soul right now of that defense. You don't get rid of him. But Deion Jones, I can see it. I'm not saying he's, he's not a person that can, he's great speed-wise. He's worked on his tackling over the last few years. I mean, he has built himself up to be a solid linebacker. I think he had a couple of better years earlier, but he didn't lose any games for us last year. Just a thought. Jimmy says, look for Atlanta to go after Trubisky as backup unless they think Trey Lance is our guy. I like Lance, but we do need another quarterback. Safety and guard are targets in free agency. Look at Spain and Tooney if we can flex the contracts. And look, as far as tackle's concerned, I know we can't afford them, but Jesus, the Fisher move from Kansas City, that was a little bit of a shock right there that they got rid of him. And I know he wasn't there for the Super Bowl, but he's a pretty good tackle. I know we're in no position to take him. And not only that, with Jake Matthews restructuring his contract, that pretty much assures that he's going to be here this year. But those are two guys that you would look to go after. I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to go basement bargain shopping when it comes to these free agents. I don't expect to hear from Atlanta on day 1 or 2 of free agency, because right now I'm not sure if we are, and matter of fact, I'm not even sure if we're appealing enough for anybody to come here right now. Trubisky, I'd see what Fitzpatrick doing. If you're going to get somebody who's going to come in there and show. And I know Trubisky had a little minor comeback last year at the end of the year, but Trubisky might still want to get paid too as a backup. Rusty, the Saints are a sneaky organization. I wouldn't be surprised if they void his contract right after March 17th. They just might. Mickey Loomis, man. Mickey Loomis is shrewd. The Saints are usually in cap trouble every year. And somehow, some way, they always end up being one of the top teams. Somehow, some way, they always end up working it where somebody will, make a move or restructure a contract. They always end up doing this. So you give Mickey Lewis some credit. Jimmy says, no, we cut Fowler first before Deion, in my opinion. And again, the thing with both of those guys, Jimmy, only thing I'm thinking about differently from Jones, it's not a cutting of Jones. I'm thinking about trading him. You're going to have to make up for the bonus money anyway. But I'm thinking more about trading more than cutting. Neither one of those guys are cuttable, because even if you cut Fowler right now, it'll save you, some cap room, but you still have to make up for all of that dead cap money. And if I'm not mistaken, as I'm pulling it up right now. Dante Fowler's dead space is not as horrible as you think. It's $15 million, but if I mean, at the end of the day, if he restructures, get him for cheap and see what he got this year. I'm sure his hit will probably be less next year. Dion, same thing. Dion right now, $11 million dead cap space. You can deal with that. Christian, I was thinking the other day we could put Debo at strong safety with his size and speed. I wouldn't mind seeing him try that at safety. We're rebuilding all together with the safeties, folks. We only have one safety on the right now, and that's Hawkins, right? We're in trouble. Macario, Jones and Neal, I never thought of that one, but for a good draft and trade, I can see. I mean, you got to think outside the box, folks. It's somehow, some way, we haven't heard it that we have 2 days. So we got 3 days actually to get down. They got to figure something out. I think they're not going to get anything from Matt and Julio. So you really have to start looking to see what they're going to do to get under this number. And then after they get under this number, what are they going to do to fill out this roster? Look, we have 9 picks right now, but we have about 17 spots that's open. We're going to probably have 2 or 3 undrafted free agents on this team that's probably going to make the roster because we're that hurt right now. The folks we lost in free agency, I mean, think about it. We lost all those guys. Free agent, Alex Mack, Ricardo Allen, Todd Gurley, James Carpenter, Alan Bailey, Charles Harris, Keanu Neal, Brian Hill, Bleedyway Wilson, Luke Stocker. And I know some of the guys may not have been stars, but they were roster fillers. Sherrod Nelsman, Darquez Denard, Stephen Means, DeQuail Treadwell, DeMonte Casey, Matt Gono. I mean, all of those guys are, they're out there now. So there are a lot of spots left. So we have to sign some folks. The problem is, are we going to them with a gold card or EBT card? We got to figure out how we're going to do this. And I think a lot of it is probably, like people are saying, you're probably going to have to stockpile a couple of draft picks. I still think with the number 4 pick, and I'm going to stick to my guns on this until somebody tells me otherwise, I think you still stick with the quarterback at the number 4 position. You have to think beyond 2021 right now. This draft cannot be about saving Matt Ryan. This draft has to be about saving this franchise. When you're making the moves in this April 29th, you have to think about the franchise going forward. And I think Paris Sewell looks like he's going to be a good tackle. He looks like it. Sounds like it. And that's great. And if we get him, I'm not going to cry. But now that they re-signed Jake, I guess that maybe they could put him on the right side. I don't know. But you have to look for the future, y'all. Which is hard for folks to... When you start talking about drafting a quarterback, the immediate response is, you hate Matt Ryan. Let me tell you something. Anybody who knows me, I have probably championed Matt Ryan more than anybody in public when you start talking about how he's not consistent. He lost the big one. He can't win. You can't depend on him to come back anymore. He's just a game manager. He's just this. I've defended him all his career. I still think he's okay, But while you have gotten to this crossroads and you have fresh thinking, new general manager, head coach going into the 2020s, I can't go back and start thinking about, well, if we tweak this, we can make Matt what he was in 2016 or what he was in 2012. If anything, make him marketable enough to where we can trade him next year. He ain't going anywhere this year. But it's not. I'm not trying to make Matt Ryan the scapegoat for all of the woes for the Atlanta Falcons. But you have an opportunity to switch this franchise, to flip the script, to change the attitude, to change the demeanor, to bring folks into this stadium. And it ain't going to be done by bringing in a left tackle or a right tackle. It's not going to be done by bringing in a linebacker. You bring a quarterback into this franchise, a new quarterback that not only can sit behind Matt, but push Matt. And hey, might do like Matt did in 2008. Chris Redman was supposed to start for this team. Chris Redman was going into camp, was the number one quarterback. And Matt ended up beating him out. What's wrong with competition? Nobody wants to do that anymore. It's like, oh, your job automatically. That's the problem. We haven't given them anybody to push with. Bakari said EBT. Yeah, hey, look, what else we gonna pay him with? We gotta pay him with something. Absolutely. Brother Tidy, how you feeling, brother? Say, I agree, Steve. This draft can't be about building around Matt Ryan. Those days are over. It has to be about securing and prepping for the future. Yes, you was champion Matt for the longest. I mean, and look, and Tidy, I'll test you. Me and Tidy went at it a lot about him. I mean, it's okay. Kind of like New Orleans is doing. It's okay to turn the page. The difference with Drew Brees, he might have been a little bit more consistent. I mean, 4 straight NFC South titles. For the most part, going to the playoffs 75% of the time. It's kind of hard to argue pushing him out like we're talking about Matt. But again, if you take out those first 5 years of Matt Ryan's tenure, which you can't for the whole picture, but if you could, take out those first 5 years from 2008 to 2012, what has he done since 2013? He had 1 year where he won the MVP and came a stone's throw away from giving us our first parade down Peachtree with the Falcons. The next year when we made the playoffs, he really didn't have the greatest of years that year. He's had numbers. So is Phillip Rivers. So is Matt Stafford. Numbers don't mean anything if you're not winning. You have to get fresh, y'all. You have to get fresh. And I will say it until I'm blue in the face. This franchise needs a defibrillator to wake this thing up, man. And it's not going to be woken up by Patrick Surtain Jr. It's not. It's not going to be woken up by Perry Sewell. It's not going to be woken up by Michael Parsons. And no disrespect to either of those guys. Could we use all of them? Absolutely we could. We could use every last one of them. I'm not telling you we couldn't. But I tell you what we could use. An infusion of youth and a fusion of what the NFL is going into today, folks. The days of the Matt Ryan type quarterback are gone. The only one that really is still in that frame is the one who's bringing all the old fossils to Tampa Bay to help him win championships. That's the only one. Every other franchise gets it. Buffalo, they get it. Arizona, they get it. Carolina tried to get it. They just got the wrong quarterback. Dallas, I'm going to tell you something about Dallas. And mark my word about this. I think that's going to be I think that was a bad signing. I think that was a bad signing because I think Dak is slightly overrated. Dak puts up numbers, but name a Dak Prescott moment. Give me a Dak Prescott moment. When you're making that much money, you got to give me a moment. I don't have a moment with Dak. The year they went to the playoffs, the moments were about Zeke. They weren't about Dak. It was about Dak being steady. So you're going to pay Dak that much money. And I know the NFL is coming to that. I'm not trying to get into his pockets. My thing is, young man, go get what you can get. But I say for as far as maybe that wasn't the right move, I don't know. I'm not feeling it. I'm not. Got respect for Dak, especially coming back from the injury. Dak is probably still in the mirror right now talking about they gave Taysom Hill what? All right, let me get down here. Oh, Brother John, I'm on StreamYard, brother. StreamYard. Pop on in. Homer, relax, guys. We did re-sign Koo and Jacob. Yeah, Mariner. Maybe 2 of only 3 free agent players that was really worth keeping. New faces welcome. Yeah, and Younghoe Koo, somebody tell me what the money was on that. I was looking to see what the money was. If we paid him over $2 million, folks, I'm just trying to tell you we overpaid. And as great of a story as Younghoe was, and it's great, and is, I'm just not sure if I'm going to involve I need to see that. If they pay $2 million for him to stay, and he was solid. He only missed, 4 field goals? Missed some important ones, but missed 4. Dak says, Toddy says, Dak is basically Matt Ryan, same type of quarterback. I'd say the same thing. That, to me, there is nothing. John says, I see the wrong quarterback retire. Look, Matt's not going anywhere. Matt still have a payday or 2 to go. Matt's not going anywhere. Not at all. So I'm just thinking with the money that they have, with the lack of money that's going on right now, I don't think you're going to hear anything from the Falcons for a couple of days. I think you're going to hear from the Falcons maybe on day 2. I'm sorry, day 3, day 4, whatever's left over. I'm at a point right now. I'm not sure I want the Falcons to go out and spend a lot of money. You might want to save the money because you're going to need it for that quarterback that you need to draft at number 4. But I just don't see them going out and spending that kind of bread. So get ready, y'all, for the 1-year contracts. Some veterans that might be 32, 33 years old. I see Josh Norman out there. I see, what's my guy name? Saints just cut Jenkins out there. Those guys might want to catch up with a winner, but the winners might not want them. We're going to have to wait some of these guys out. Some of these guys that might have to go on a prove-it contract. We're not going to be first day signing. We're not going to be going for the 4-year, $70 million contract that bit us in our behind with Fowler this year. And if Fowler decides to restructure a little bit and give us a little bit of breathing room, I'm willing to give him another year. I know he was hurt last year, but he still qualifies to me as a kind of a bust. But he's got to give some. He's got to make some room, though. I think if I looked correctly, I think I saw we still had $11 million to go before we need to get under. Got to make some moves, y'all. At least the right quarterback absolutely retired. John, send me the link. Yeah, so it's listen, we got to figure it out, y'all. We have got to figure it out. A lot of folks think we're not gonna try to get this quarterback. I don't believe them. I think you got to go out and I think you have to get a quarterback this year. You have to, and it's not Mitchell Trubisky. It's not. I'm sorry, y'all. I just got go back to my comments. There we go. Sorry about that. Homer, cool. $920,000. Thank you so much for that information. I appreciate that. I can live with that. Okay. I retract everything I said about Youngway. That's a good signing. Christian, I need a Trey Lance jersey. I need one too. I saw that dude throwing yesterday. I saw him throw that long pass. I said, "Ooh, Zacchaeus coming back next year. He can get under those kind of throws like that." When the last time? And you see how easy he threw that pass. And I know we're going to talk about Trey Lance a lot because he had the pro day with all the cameras and everything like that. But that young man seems like he got a little edge, and he seems. I know they had the interview with him where they said he was coming to compete, whatever. Yeah, but you'll do whatever the team did. If you get drafted, you got to sit down and learn. So he'll be fine. But I'm just telling you, that guy is special. I haven't given up on Justin Fields. I really haven't. I'll take Justin Fields. And Zach Wilson is not bad either. As long as it's somebody that's going to be ready to take over the reins for this team circa 2022. We have to. We have to, y'all. Rusty Lancer Fields is going to be a Falcon, and I'm going to purchase the jersey before the fifth pick gets made. Well, I'm going to be here on that night. Actually, we're going to be doing some might have some different settings here, but I'll save that for draft night. But I'm hoping it is one of those two. I just think we just need a little bit more, y'all. We need a spark. We need a spark. You can't get that from a cornerback. You can't get that from a linebacker unless he's like just historic. You can't. So again, the breaking news, man. Drew Brees finally getting up out of here. That's good. I know I'm hearing the things. I'm surprised. I still haven't seen anything yet. Which not saying that everybody's telling what it is, but I haven't seen anything yet on the Hill contract. We'll probably talk about that a little bit more. I will join y'all back again tomorrow as we go over either tomorrow or Tuesday, depending on what day the Falcons finally get under the cap. I'm sure there'll be some other news coming in on how they get under. Until then, I just broke in, just wanted to get with y'all. Drew Brees finally gets up out of here after all that time. And just good to finally get him up out of here. And just as a quick bye-bye song, I think I dedicate this to him on the way out because he is the man in his own mind, I guess. But and then of course, as soon as I turn it on, I can't get the thing to turn on. But Drew Brees has left the building, folks. Let's give him a get him out. See you later, Drew. We hardly knew you. Y'all have a good one. Take care. They closed this with the Georgia Dome too, y'all. I'm sorry. I still. I know that's their song, but they from Atlanta, so y'all have a good one, man.